Welcome to Obsidian for tabletop RPGs. Let's look at automatic linking or cross-referencing. Okay, pretty important feature in any campaign manager, in my opinion, is the ability to cross-link or cross-reference your notes between each other. Now, for anyone who's played with Word, you're probably like, what are you talking about? With obviously tools like Obsidian and other campaign managers, you don't just have like one note. You make multiple notes, and you create notes for pretty much anything that exists in your world. So you might have a note for a place, you might have a note for a person or a quest, right? But by having different notes for different things, you can link to them and create a fully interactive and linked document. So let's just go through and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the out-of-the-box support that Obsidian has for cross-linking, right, which is pretty simple. So I'm going to go into my edit mode here, and you can see here that I've got, this is an orc. If I wanted to change orc to a link to the note about orc, I just type square bracket. That brings up a list of all of the different sort of topics that exist. And as I type, it filters out them so that I can see the ones that are there. So you can see that I've got orc. All right, I can click on it, and I've now got a link to an orc. If I go back into my preview mode, you can see here that that link now works for me to mouse over, or I can even click or control click on that to open that orc up in another screen, which makes it very efficient for me to get from my text or my notes that I'm writing here over to the orc section. There's some other ways to do this though, because this is quite manual. It means that as you're writing your notes, you need to know that you want to link to another note, and it also means that you need to know that that other note exists, because you need to type the name of the note into your notes as you go. So there's some other things though, so let's just go through and explore some of this functionality. And this is my second video on linking, so apologies, but I've learned a lot more, so I thought for some of you older viewers you'll take some benefit of this as well. So let's jump in and come down here to settings and go to core plugins, because out of the box we have some different plugins here that are really handy for linking. So the first one is Backlinks. Alright, so turn that one on, and the other one is Outgoing Links. Alright, so if we come down here and turn that one on as well, we'll close out of those settings now and come back here. Alright, and we've got some options here. So Backlinks, what has that actually done? Well, if we come over here to our pane, you'll see Backlinks now has a button, and you can see that there's a linked mentions in here and an unlinked mentions. Alright, so I just clicked and it refreshed. So you can see here that I've already made another note called Backlinking example. Alright, and I'm creating a backlink here. So in this note, I'm referencing this note. Okay, so by clicking into this note, I now have a pane over here for backlinks that shows me all of the notes that link to this note. Alright, so that can be quite handy if you're sort of, trying to locate which notes are talking about who. Like, let's say you have an NPC, for example, and you wanted to know which notes are referencing that NPC. You can come into your note about the NPC, go to your backlinks button, and actually therefore get a list of all the other notes that reference that NPC. So that's really handy. It's just doing a bit of a scan there for unlinked mentions. I don't think it's going to come up with anything because I've made this very specific as a backlinking example, so it won't show me anything. Alright, so that's backlinks, and you can see how that could be quite handy for tracking down where you're talking about certain things. There's another one though called Outgoing Links. Alright, so Outgoing Links was the core plugin that we turned on in the settings before, and it's now got its own button. Alright, and we can see here that there's a outgoing link to the orc. Alright, and there's an unlinked mentions pane here. Alright, so what this unlinked mentions pane does, and this is probably the more useful part of this functionality, is it shows you all of the links that it thinks need to exist. So in here, I've got standard linking. This is an orc. That's this up here. It's picking up the link that's been created. But down here, we've got orc that's been written 3 times. And you can see here that it's been written 3 times. It's also got picked up standard. I'm not going to link that one. I'm going to ignore it because obviously like a standard bearer, right? It's linking to banner for that. It's not a link that I need. But what I can do is I can come in here and click this button, all right, and see now that that's automatically created a link. So that's fantastic, right? Because that means that now you can continue typing, not worry too much about it, and then at the end just go through and scan your links and click the buttons for the things that you think are important to make links for. That's what I've started doing, and I quite like this. I mean, anyone who's coming from Realmworks would remember that we used to get automatic linking in a similar way, but it kind of prompted you link by link by link. You had to go through every link and say, yes, I want this, no, I don't. So this is another way that this can work really well. Just while we're on the fact, let's just have a look in here and have a look and just see what the alias says. So we do have orcs. I'm just going to clean that up just for the sake of it. Alright, so if I close that one off, let's just test to see if this works. The orc lives with the orcs. Alright, so you can see it's picked up the alias that's been put on that other topic as well. So I can now click this, and you can see when I click that, it automatically changes the link, so it actually says orcs instead of orc. So that's fantastic because it means you can basically have support for your alias as well. So keep that in mind when you are building your notes. Like if there's an NPC, you could put in the NPC's real name, the NPC's fake name, its secret name. Alright, or if you got things like monsters, like, you know, put in the various different sort of plurals in there and make sure that you've got different options for how to link to that note. There's a new tool that I've just become aware of though, and it's definitely worth showing you guys about. It's pretty cool. So it's called various complements. So what we're going to do is go down to settings. We're going to come to community plugins. Make sure your restricted mode is turned off so that you can actually enable plugins. Come to community plugins. And we're going to come up here and type various complements. Now you can see I've already got it installed. Alright, so you need to click the install button, and then you need to go through and click the enable button, and once it's enabled, then you'll be able to obviously go through and use it. But while you're here, you can just have a look and see what this thing is doing, and it's giving word prompts, okay? Actually, I need to enable one because I've turned it off. So it's got word prompts. It's basically, as you type, it's prompting you for links, so this is really cool. There's a documentation here. You'll find that there's a link to the GitHub. If you do ever have issues with a plugin, GitHub is the place that you go to. All right, and so you go to there, and they've usually got an issues section, so you can log an issue, and it'll go to the developer. Important thing to remember: I'm not the developer of these plugins, so there's not much I can do other than show you how the tools work. All right, but then outside of that, let's go back out. We'll click out. All right, well, now we have various complements. So let's just get rid of this text now that we've got various complements installed. All right, see how it's already starting to prompt. So I can press enter, and it creates it as I go. Well, I'm probably typing too quick, but again, I can type enter. I don't even need to finish it, right? So this gives you prompts as you're typing and allows you to very quickly just press enter to create the note. You can change the key that is used to validate the link as it's been created. But as you can see, like that allows you to very quickly start to sort of, you know, get things working and show where your links are happening. So I think that is a fantastic addition to this tool. Honestly, that's almost worthy of becoming like a core plugin in my opinion. But that's brilliant functionality. And what this really does, in my opinion, is it really makes this one of the strongest automatic linking tools that I've ever found. Because there is just so many different options here on how you can handle your links. You know, you can do it as you type. You can do it manually if you want. You can use the outgoing unlinked mentions in order to, you know, quickly scan through your links and add anything that's missing. Really fantastic functionality, and it should prove very useful for people as they go through and obviously set these things up. It's just a brilliant way to obviously work as a DM. And I see a number of people who use things like Google Notes and Word documents, and they're like, look, it's getting really big, it's starting to get out of control. This is exactly why you should use a tool like Obsidian, right? Because it's providing you that linkage and providing you the visibility of everything that's going on. And let's not forget, I'll graph you as you're typing these links. I'm always a bit afraid to open up this panel in my vault, but you can see why. As you're typing these links and creating these things, all right, you can see that, you know, every dot is a note, and the lines between them are all the links that exist between those notes. So absolutely huge. Another thing you can do that I quite find probably more useful than the overall graphs view is to open a local graph. And what you do is you open up a note and you click the More Options button and you come down here to Open Local Graph. Alright, and then that opens up a new screen. And as you can see here, basically this is a visual representation of the links that are happening in this note. So I've got automatic linking that's linking to Orc, I've got Neverwinter being linked, and I've got Backlinking example that's linking into this as well. So it shows the links between all those. And the thing I like about this is you can therefore click onto a node. Alright, it brings the note up, and you can see here that that also has all the links from that note into the other notes. And well, you saw what happens when you go into the master graph view. It sort of like opens up into this massive thing of all the links, and it becomes quite crazy. What you can do though with this, if you do find this feature useful, is you can drag to rearrange. Alright, so you can come over here, you can put it into different places. Let's maybe come down here. Alright, so you can bring it into your toolbars on the right or the left or wherever you want to put it. And this way, you know, if you're coming over to Neverwinter, you can see that that stays updated and shows you a visual representation of all of the links that exist from that article into other articles, which, you know, becomes just a nice way of visualizing everything. So yeah. Anyway, as you can see, there are lots and lots of options within Obsidian for doing your automatic linking and cross-referencing. So find the method that works for you. If you come across another way, please do let me know. I'm always keen to know about other ways of linking. I'm really quite happy with this new one that we've found today. So the various complements, I think, is something I'm going to use moving forward because it's just a nice, efficient way to create your links as you work through. So I think that's great. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you're enjoying this content. If you do, please do like and subscribe. Huge shout out to my patrons for all of your support, and obviously, you know, let's make some more videos. Let me know if you've got any ideas about things that you'd like to see me make. Just you know, reach out through Facebook or through Discord and let me know what you're in, what videos you're after, and we'll go ahead and get them made for you. So, hope you have a great day. I'll chat to you all on the forums.